Welcome to the Explore Real Estate Show. I am James Boslaw, your Fredericksburg area realtor and vacation rental investor. And this show is all about real estate in the Fredericksburg area, the Fawn Lake community, and the vacation rental space. I help people buy and sell homes because I believe that everyone should grow their wealth as they live in or own a home that they love. I also believe that you should feel confident when you are buying or selling a home, and confidence comes when you are well educated and informed, and that's what this show is all about. Enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Explorer Real Estate Show, where in today's episode, we are going to do something completely different than anything that I've ever done before. If you listen to this show, then you know that my focus is on real estate in the Fredericksburg area, the Fawn Lake community, and the vacation rental space. But if you dig a little bit deeper, you'll know that I also like to talk about various topics as well. And most of the time, those topics, pretty much all the time, those topics are pertaining to real estate and all things about real estate. But today, I'm actually going to break from that, and I'm going to do something a little different. And this is going to be my most vulnerable, my most personable real estate episode that I've ever done. But I am going to talk about having a faith focus at work, and more specifically, 3 ways to stand out in the workplace. If you are a person of faith, then I think this will really resonate with you. If you are not a person of faith, I still think that this is something that you would like to hear and maybe glean some stuff for yourself as well. But I'm not shy about this. I'm a former pastor and minister. I was a children's minister, a student pastor, a connections minister. I was a high school Bible teacher at Fredericksburg Christian School, a local Christian school in the area. And my faith is very, very important to me. And I try to do my best to bring my faith into the workplace. And I'm sure that if you're listening to this, if this title caught your attention, it's probably because you are the same. Your faith is important to you. And I hope that by listening to 3 things that are important to me as far as being faith focused at work, I hope that these things encourage you as well, and that you bring them into your workspace. So let's dive right into the 3 things. The first thing that I want to talk about is having integrity, and more specifically, being trustworthy. This is something that is so important. I know I tell all of my clients right from the get-go that integrity is the foundation of my business. This is something that is very, very important to me. I want to be very clear that everything that I'm going to do is going to be done the right way, and I'm going to be honest and upfront. Now, what that doesn't mean is that I'm not going to make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes and will probably continue to make mistakes here and there. And obviously, owning those mistakes are important. But being able to set yourself apart in your work environment as someone who is honest and trustworthy and someone who has integrity, that is so important if you're a person of faith. If you read Proverbs chapter 11, verse 3, it says, "It is the integrity of the upright that guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity." So if you are seen as someone who has integrity and is upright, that's going to guide you along the right paths. And I know that is something that I have experienced the benefits of, is just being in a business where a lot of people don't fully trust the real estate agent that they're working with. Maybe in the past they've been burned, and they just want to know that they're working with someone who's going to tell them the truth, who's going to do things the right way. And whatever work space you're in, I'm sure that's the case as well. Proverbs 12:22 says this: "The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy." So I think the first key to bringing our focus and faith into the workplace, it is to make sure that we have integrity and that we are seen as trustworthy. No matter what you're doing, no matter what field you're in, I think that should be the foundation of who we are as we try to stand out in the workplace. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is stewardship. And if you're not familiar, there is a story in Matthew chapter 25. It's a very popular story, and it's of a manager who gives talents or money to 3 different people. The first person that he gives talents to, he gave 5 talents to, and he said, "Go take this and steward it, and I'll come back to you." And the second person he gives 2 talents to, and the third person he gives a talent to. And what happened with those 3 people is the person who was given 5 talents, he went, he invested it, and he came back and he brought 5 more. So he was given 5, he came back with 10. Obviously, the manager was very, very happy about that because there was a return for what he gave. The second person who was given 2 talents came back with 4, so he too doubled what he was given, and the manager was very happy. The third and the final person who was given a talent came back, and he pretty much dug a hole and hid that talent, came back with the talent that he was given and said, hey, I didn't want to lose it. Here you go. There's no return, but I haven't lost anything, and here you go. And the manager was not too happy about that. Now, most of the time, this story, when we talk about stewardship, this story is oftentimes referred to as how we deal or steward our finances, or maybe it's how we steward our investments. I know, personally speaking, I can view this as how are we a good steward when it comes to real estate. And it obviously helps when I truly believe that which I'm selling, that real estate is a great way to steward or invest your money. And I truly believe that. And that's the way that most people take the story. However, remember, the thing that the manager gave was a talent. And now, from this parable, we know that talent is not just referring to money, but it's often used to correlate to skill or gifts. And each and every single one of you that is listening right now, you have been given a talent. You've been given gifts from God, and he wants you to steward that, to use it in a wise manner, just like he wants us to be good stewards of our money and our finances. Obviously, like I said, it helps me to sell real estate when I truly do believe that that's a good and sound investment. But more importantly, to those of you who are listening, you have been given a gift and skills from God, and he wants you to use that for his honor and his glory. He wants you to steward that and use it wisely. So I think one of the ways that you can have a faith focus at work is to really take an assessment of the gifts and the talents and the skills that God has given you, and really take a look at if you're able to use those in a way that honors him. And so you're good at something. I know you are. And if you're not, you better call me after listening to this episode, because I love helping people find out what their gifts are. And I probably know you well enough, if you're listening to this, where I could shoot off several things that I think you're good at with just one phone call. But I think that is the second way that we can have a faith focus at work, is to make sure we are stewarding the gifts and the talents and the skills that God has given you. Use that in the workspace. So for me personally, I love connecting with people. I've never met a stranger. I love teaching. And so for me, to be able to connect with people who are looking to buy or sell a home, to be able to explain the pros and the cons based on each person's situation, and to truly help them buy and sell a home in a way where they feel good about it, that's something that is important to me. And I think it's a gift that God has given me. And so I want to use that in a way that honors him. What does that look like for you? It could look very different for each and every single one of you that's listening to this episode, but make sure that you are stewarding the gifts and the talents that God has given you, because he has given you plenty. The third and the final way that I think we can have a faith focus at work is to remember that we always should put people over profit. All of us want to provide for our families. All of us want to make profit. We want to make money, pay the bills, do fun and exciting things, invest, give, spend. All those things are great. And profit, there's nothing wrong with it. Matter of fact, the book of Proverbs talks a lot about how we are to, the work of the diligent brings profit, and how we are to steward that wisely. And the Bible has a lot to say about money. There's nothing wrong with it. However, we do need to remember that people always come before profit. It says in Ephesians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4, that we should do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. When we put people over profit, when we make sure that we are focused on the right order of importance, the profit will come. The profit will come, but put people first. I know personally for me in my business, there are times when I find myself talking people out of buying or selling a home. Now, I do not profit from doing that. And oftentimes in the short term, that might mean that I'm going to make less money. But it's when I advise people and put the people over the profit that I gain their trust. And oftentimes that leads to them sending me referrals because they trust me. And that's what I want. And that's what we all should want. When we put people over profit, the profit will come because people will know that we have others' best interests at heart. And it is in those scenarios that we do that, that oftentimes we see folks elevated to another position of leadership, or given a promotion, and or in my case, in the case of many people who do sales and entrepreneurial work, when you put people over profit, it tends to come back to you and help you in the long run, because your reputation is important. How other people view you is important. And so having people over profit is, I think, the third and final way that I would like to share that we could stand out and have faith focus at work. Now, it does say later in Ephesians chapter 2, one of my favorite passages in the Bible, it does say that when you stand out and you are a child of God and you act a certain way, that you will shine like stars in the sky. And I don't know when the last time is that you went out and you took a look at the stars in the sky, but they shine bright, they're beautiful, and they can just be something to look at. And so that's how God wants us to be. Let's stand out in the workplace. Let's have a faith focus at work, no matter where we are, no matter what field we're in. Just shine like a star in the sky. So let me just summarize the three key things that I went over, because I think these things are all very, very important. The three ways that we can have a faith focus at work. The first way is to make sure that you have integrity and are seen as someone who is trustworthy. The second way is to make sure that you are a good steward of that which God has given you. Use your gifts, use your talents, and do it in a way that honors and glorifies Him. And the third and the final way is to remember that no matter what we're doing, let's always put people over profit. If we focus on others before ourselves, it is not only the right thing to do, but oftentimes it gets rewarded, and you will stand out. You will be seen as a person of faith if you do these things, and you will shine like the stars in the sky. So I am far from perfect. I'll be the first to admit that, but these are some things that I try to bring into my workspace, and I hope that you see that in me, and I hope that you are able to bring that into your workspace as well. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this one. Like I said, this is much different than any other episode that I've ever done, but I do have that heart of a pastor in me, and my faith is so important to me, and I bring it into every facet of my life, whether it's my family life, my work life, with my friends. It's just who I am, and I'm just thankful to God for that. And so I hope this encourages you. I hope it challenges you. As always, if you are listening to this right now and you are on Apple's podcast, make sure that you follow the show so you can be kept up to date on the most recent episodes. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you click subscribe. That is something I'm trying to grow, is my subscribers, so that you can always be kept up to date with the most recent episodes. And if you have any more questions about the local real estate market, which is what the majority of our episodes are about, almost all of the episodes are about, then make sure that you find me at explorewithjb.com so I could circle back around with you and answer any questions that you might have, whether you're looking to buy or whether you're looking to sell. That selling season is just around the corner. So I look forward to getting the feedback from this episode, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. I hope you have a great day and a great week, and I will see you on the next episode.